What's going on, folks? And we're back for another segment of Seeing Live. And what you're looking at now is some footage again from SHOT Show floor. One thing I have to say about SHOT Show that I absolutely love is, for me, this is kind of like being a kid in a candy store, but it's kind of a gift and a curse in many ways because I don't necessarily get to go to all of the booths that I would love to go to because there's just too much to take in and too much to see. On top of that, though, one of the other aspects of it is being able to interact with so many different people in the industry. I think nowadays we kind of have this virtual distance between each other because of the advancements in the internet, which are great, which has brought us closer, and we interact quite a bit. But as a result of that, coming to SHOT Show, we get to see a lot of those individuals in the industry. And it's really fun to feed off of that energy and kind of bring a lot of things that we do in this industry from a distance together into light. So with that being said, there's a bit of a big controversy with respect to what I like to call smart guns in the industry now. I recently did a post on social media where I talked about how I felt about smart guns, and that it's not necessarily the case that I'm against smart guns. I'm just against the idea of mandating them. So with that being said, joining me now is Larry Keene from NSSF.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. So talk to me about what you've been working on with respect to the notion of smart guns.
Well, first of all, we don't even like the phrase smart gun.
Now, why is that?
We refer to it because the gun isn't smart. The user is smart or dumb. Mm-hmm. We refer to it as authorized user recognition technology.
I like that.
And from the very beginning, when this concept first came up, literally decades ago, the industry's position has been consistent. We are not opposed to research and development on this technology. What we are opposed to are mandates. We don't think the government should decide what products should be on the market. We think the market should work if there is adequate or sufficient consumer demand and manufacturers can develop the product and it works as reliably as current firearm technology does, and there's consumer demand, they will build it like the old movie.
Know what?
And the market should decide, and the market is the best way to allocate capital.
Yeah.
And so people are not going to spend R&D dollars developing a product if the consumer doesn't want it, right? Yeah. I mean, there's this false notion by the gun control community thinks that the industry can force people to buy products they don't want. It's just not how the economy works.
Under the
whether widgets or
safety,
guns,
right?
Exactly. So. If it doesn't work as reliably as current technology, you'd be very ill-advised as a manufacturer to put that kind of product on the market. That's a good way to get yourself sued. So we opposed the bill in New Jersey. We've opposed it wherever it's come up. And so we saw a bill in New Jersey to repeal the one mandate and replace it with another mandate. And so we're opposed to mandates. We
don't force me to be a guinea pig with protecting my life. Like
exactly.
I'm not okay with that at all.
And so now you see them talking about, we should have law enforcement be the guinea pigs, and we saw how for example, the Fraternal Order of Police reacted to that notion, and they said basically, hell no, you're not going to make cops guinea pigs. Again, look, and they are significant, serious technological challenges to developing this sort of technology. No one has solved the puzzle to make a product that's safe and reliable. And we have a background paper on this, and many, many issues to cover. What's the failure mode? Does it default to a mode where it can't work or that it can function? And you can construct good or bad outcomes. If it defaults to a mode where it cannot work and your kid finds it when they shouldn't, that's a good outcome. If your wife is at home by herself and the burglar is breaking in and it defaults to a mode where it can't work, that's a bad outcome, right? So how do you solve that riddle? How do you deal with batteries? Batteries, will always fail at the most inconvenient time. You have a smoke detector in your house. You're supposed to change it when you change your clock, and I am sure at least 1 out of 2 people here do not do that, right?
I've gone so long at one point with not changing the batteries on my smoke detector, I stopped hearing the beep.
That's right.
And people would come over, and they're like, "You don't hear that?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't even like batteries on my safes.
Right.
So.
And we have seen in some polling that we have done, and we've talked to manufacturers that have looked at this, at least in the past, and what they said, they did some market research, and they found that there really isn't adequate consumer demand. So that's just not how they're going to allocate their limited R&D dollars if that's not what the consumer wants to buy.
Yeah.
but if somebody can solve the technological riddles and make it as safe and as reliable, then the market will decide, and people will make a decision whether that's what they can make a return on their investment. But a government mandate is not going to solve the technological problems.
What I find it interesting is they're so willing to just throw money at the idea of creating a mandate for these so-called smart guns. But yet, if you toss out the idea of, okay, well then why don't you throw money at getting people even more trained? Why don't you throw out more money to help inform people about the safe operation and use of firearms?
Right.
None of that. It's always, no, we want to control everything you have to do with respect to the firearm.
So, quote-unquote smart guns is a new panacea du jour. The anti-gun groups are always enamored of the latest newfangled technology. It was microstamping. It was ballistics imaging before that.
Microstamping was a joke.
Well, absolutely. It doesn't work. Can't be done. Smart gun technology is the new panacea. Here's the interesting thing. There's not a gun made today that can't be locked. There's not a gun made ever that can't be made locked and inaccessible when not in use.
Yeah.
You don't need a smart gun to do that. And the manufacturers have been provided a locking device with every new firearm they ship from the factory for decades. And we've, through NSSF's Project Child Safe, distributed over 37 million firearm safety education kits, including a free gun lock. The industry, through the manufacturers, have done over 70 million locks. It's over 100 million locks. That's like one for every gun owner in America.
Absolutely.
And the last point I want to make about smart guns that no one ever talks about is, what's the purpose of a smart gun? Right? What does it allow you to do that a regular lock doesn't? Yeah. And really, and the origin of smart guns comes out of the law enforcement officers in the takeaway shootings. The idea is that you can have a loaded gun that couldn't be used by somebody, and that's an anathema to basic firearm safety. Right? Don't leave a loaded gun laying around, relying upon technology to make it safe. If the gun's not in use, it should be unloaded. And it should be made inaccessible, and there are a plethora of ways to do that, and the ammunition stored separately. And those are the 10 commandments of gun safety. And we say all the time, how do you square that round peg? It is an anathema to firearm safety.
Absolutely.
So,
well, thank you very much for that insightful information with respect to the smart gun.
How's the shot going for you?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm on the third day, and so hopefully it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we'll see how it goes from there.
Good to see you, buddy.
Right, thank you very much. Man. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
All right. And that was another episode of Seeing Live. Join us again tomorrow. We'll be coming to you live from SHOT Show 2017.